Welcome to Ask Us Anything, and we're absolutely delighted that you're joining us this winter evening where we are. We're in Michigan, and I'm Jennifer, and this is Mike Wendland, and Bo just came in to say hi.
I had a picture. Where is Bo? Is he here?
He's right there. His little.
Is he over there?
He was there before you. There.
Oh, okay.
He's right here.
Okay, he's behind us somewhere.
So,
here's Bo.
Yeah, Bo's
Hey,
here.
Bo, say hi.
Bo came
There's
in
all
to
your
see
people.
what's going on.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bo.
Oh, I wonder how many people saw him in that last video where he went streaking through with a blue rag hanging out of his mouth.
That was yesterday. The one that came out yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just came in with Monday's trash pickup at our Sticks and Bricks house, and I was carrying out the trash, and he was just. We have like a little bank in our front yard. And it was all snow and ice, and he was skidding him down. He'd lie on the snow, and he would like roll on it, and then he would roll down the hill, just like a little.
You have no idea
fur-covered toboggan.
How hard it is to take this dog away from snow.
Well, we're doing that. We're hitting the road.
We're going to do that this weekend. So, Bo, go enjoy the snow.
Yeah, we're taking him back down south, and we'll be on the road for perhaps 2 months now. And the trip we start this weekend. We just got back Friday night. We spent some of last week in Elkhart, Indiana, the RV capital of the world, and that's always a fun visit. There's so much happening there.
I like going to Elkhart.
Yeah, I mean.
And the week before, we were in Holland.
The week before, we were in Holland, Michigan.
Trying to get some work done on our rig.
Yep. The Elkhart trip, we got if you all are regulars, you know that as we were driving down I-75 a month or so ago in Florida, on the way to Florida, and we were in Georgia near Macon, and a semi in front of us on the edge of the highway, right at the shoulder, it went there and it kicked off. It broke off a huge hunk of concrete that went bouncing down the lane that we were in. Down
I-75.
And it hit 3 vehicles in front of us. 2 of them had tires shredded by it. And the third one in front of us had it bounce up, and it hit and broke their oil pan. So they lost all their oil. And then there was no way I could get over anywhere because there was traffic in the other lane, and it hit us. Oh, what did it do? And we pulled over, and we couldn't find any real apparent damage, a little bit in the bottom, but nothing serious. But later that night, when I put my equalizer jacks out to level it, one of them was, instead of going down like this, one was like that. And it turned out it actually had knocked 2 of them out of the sink. And so we had equalizer fix it this week.
And we were so fortunate that it didn't break right off when we were driving down the bumpy roads of life.
Yes. And the roads in the north, I don't know, in the south, they're always good, it seems like. But in the north, because this has been such a weird
season.
Yeah, it's pothole season. And the roads, I think, the worse this year than before, because the temperatures have gone way high or way low, and the roads just are terrible conditions. So we're getting out of Dodge. We're going to go where it's nice and warm. And spring is now pretty evident.
Spring's coming.
It's usually when you get the end of February, 1st of March in the South, it's pretty nice, and we can't wait to go. Hey, thank you all for being with us tonight. This is Ask Us Anything, and you can ask us anything about the RV lifestyle, any of your questions like that, and we will be glad to take them and do our best to answer them. A couple of housekeeping things. First, we have some people moderating this over at YouTube. Chris Cowley is over there keeping everything right. And we thank you, YouTube people, by the way, all of you YouTubers who send us those super chats, those little extra donation, and we'll try and make you go to the front of the line at the questions when we see those. And for our Facebook groups, Phyllis Cara is moderating over there and putting up the questions. And to help them, if you would type your question all in caps at the top, question, that way we'll know that it's a question, and it's just a little bit easier to find out. Don't forget to give this video a like. And I always hate to ask, if you're a brand newcomer, you don't have to do this because you don't know whether you're going to like this or not. But if you're a regular and you like the content we create, please subscribe to the RV Lifestyle channel on YouTube if you haven't already. And that will be a big help. And all of you, if you can, give us a thumbs up. We love seeing that. So, ready to answer some questions?
I hope so.
All right, here we go.
It's time.
This is from Linda Ward, who is the first one tonight from Robbinsville, New Jersey.
Question: how low do you let the propane get before you? I can't read it, Mike. You got your camera in the way.
Well, let's see. I can't do much
before you get it refilled.
I usually get it down when it starts to get under 10 pounds. I will have it refilled. I think we're about 18, 20 pounds now, and I'll probably refill it before we hit the road. But usually about 10 pounds. Propane lasts a long time. I have used this rig every week. Every week this winter, we've gone on a couple of big camping trips where we had the heater on all night long, and we filled it up twice since fall. So it lasts a long time. So when it's about 10 pounds, that's usually when I do it. Some people, it's like gas tank. You might want to fill up the gas tank.
Some people like an adventure.
Full. Yeah, some people like more. They don't like the adventure. Then 20 pounds is maybe that's a good way to start.
Do they charge you by how much propane they put in your tank?
They charge you by pounds, and they can only go to 80% of the tank because, propane is a gas and it will expand with heat and cold.
I wonder if there was one price,
no.
why would encourage people to wait.
No, it's like a gas tank. When you fill it up, it'll just go until it hits that 80% of whatever the tank's capacity is, and then it stops. So you pay by the pound of LP, natural gas, that they put in. So it doesn't make any difference to weight, just more convenient. Carol Nash.
How do you get a permit for free camping?
Well, Carol, because it's free camping, you don't need a permit in most places. Now, I say that there are some U.S. Forest Service campgrounds that are are areas that are known as dispersed camping areas. We can set up pretty much anywhere, but some like you to have a permit or to fill out a form, and you usually find those at ranger stations. But when you go into a campground, there are many campgrounds where you boondock, but they have organized, designated camping sites in our national and some state forests. And usually they'll have a little box there where you're asked to register, so they know who's in there. But usually you don't have to go get a permit to go camping. So that's the nice part about free camping. Here's from Norm.
I know you have 2 macerator pumps. Do you still use RV toilet paper, or anything goes?
Always use RV toilet paper.
Yep, it's an RV.
Always. Now,
use RV toilet paper.
Now, some people say, "Oh, you can use anything," and you probably can get away with it.
It's not worth taking a chance.
But it's one of those things that's not worth arguing about. I just go with RV toilet paper. It's not that bad, really. And we have 2 on ours because of the unique design of this. Is on the Class C that we have. It has a macerator toilet, and that sounds like a good deal, but that's one of my main criticisms of the Wonder that we're on now, because it uses a tremendous amount of water, and when you're boondocking, that really drains your freshwater tank. I asked some folks at the dealership in Holland where we had it last week, is there any adjustment I can make? And they said no. And the reason it's a macerator toilet in the Wonder rear twin med model is because the tanks, the gray and the black water tanks are up high, or the black water tank, it's up high. So the wastewater has to, it wouldn't drain into it normally. They have to use the macerator pump to pump it up. And it just uses an inordinate amount of water in my view. And I probably, were I to order a new Wonder, which I'm not, but if I was, I would not get the rear twin bed model again because of that.
You would not. It's a trade-off. The garage,
yeah, and that's the
you
reason.
wanted the garage.
Yep, that's the reason the
So
rear
you always
twin
have to
model has
pay.
that. The rear twin bed model has that huge garage
And closet.
Yeah. Hey, I want to jump in and say hi because we have been so busy traveling. We have missed connecting with our friends Kathy Chanteau and Nancy and John, Laura, Ken, Carol, and Jim. Those are all our camping buddies. They're down at Mardi Gras, the early Mardi Gras parades along the Gulf Coast, the South Gulf Coast. And I saw a couple of pictures come through when we were in a couple of meetings in Elkhart, and I got this one from them. And I was going to start laughing because it's a picture. Maybe I'm going to embarrass her, and I'll see if I can find it.
You can't embarrass Kathy.
I can embarrass Kathy. Why not?
No, I mean, you can't embarrass Kathy.
Oh, you don't think Kathy will get involved? Where is that picture of her?
I don't know.
Anyway, she was in all of her Mardi Gras thing between a couple of cops, and I thought she might have gotten, I can't find it here while I'm talking, But anyway, happy Mardi Gras to you guys. I wish we were with you. It's great seeing you on the podcast tonight. Question from Elena Thompson.
Okay, this is awesome. Turning in from Western Kentucky. Just got my truck and ready to buy a lightweight fiberglass camper. I will be able to work remote in my tech job. Ready to get on the road.
Wow, good for you. Congratulations, Elena. I'll tell you, it's hard to find as RVs or trucks, particularly the 3/4 ton versions of them, the 2500 series. You can't find one, a new one. I've heard 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes 6 months to get a new one. And I have somebody near and dear to us who is looking for a 2500 new F-150 or the Ram or even the Chevy, and striking out as they search around the country. So it's good. I think it's a little easier to get the 1/4 ton tuts, the 1500 series.
Yeah, there's a lot of 1500s out there.
Oh yeah, and the F-150s and the 1500 series. 2500s, the heavy dutier ones, are harder to find. So good for you. Bob Leach.
Where did y'all eat in Linden?
Linden, Tennessee, which is where we have our property that we are developing. And I'm not going to go into any details on that. You've seen all of our stories and if you follow us, but our favorite place is
the Commodore.
The Commodore Hotel and Cafe.
The Commodore. We actually have several places
yes,
that we've enjoyed eating.
This last time we had breakfast at, help me out, Mayberry, the Mayberry Cafe, named after Mayberry.
Yeah, a little breakfast place.
We had
breakfast there, and it was excellent. And then there's a
place
shop.
They call it, I think it's called Tim's Video Store, but it used to be a video store, and they've now turned it into a restaurant. And so everybody says, "Yeah, it's up at Tim's Video," because that's what they all call it. Okay, we're going to go eat at a video, but it's a really nice little restaurant, country cooking, home cooking, and it's great.
And then our little shop with the couple that just sit down and visit with you.
Oh, in the corner, it's a coffee shop. The best homemade tomato soup I've ever had. And it's a little coffee shop on Main Street there in Linden. So.
Now, we've not been to the Mexican restaurant. I know there's a Mexican restaurant.
There's a Mexican restaurant in every town.
Yeah, I don't know what we've missed. Oh, we're going to eat at the gas station. We're going to have breakfast at the gas station.
Nana's restaurant or
Nana's
Cafe.
We haven't eaten there.
Listen,
but Mike said, we are not going to eat at a gas station. So I had to stick my head in because with a name like that,
Nana, Grandma, you're a Nana.
Yeah. So we haven't eaten there yet, but next time we want to go out for breakfast, I think we'll try it.
Well, it was very popular.
It had a lot of people in there.
Yeah. And that is only like
Nanas and Papas.
Nana and Peppa.
I don't know.
I can't come. No. Anyway, there's lots of places. Little town, less than 900 people, but we've really come to love Linden, Tennessee. Linda Barcume.
Loved your Instagram from Michigan yesterday. Loved a reminder of home. I actually miss the snow. You and me and Bo, we like snow.
Well, yeah,
Linda,
that was you shoveling the snow in the backyard.
I was out there playing a little bit, and Bo was totally enjoying it.
Yeah, it was.
He runs around like a snowplow with his snout in the snow.
Bob Leach.
Are you going to name your Tennessee property? We are going to name it. We just haven't figured out what.
It's in a place called the Woodlands at Buffalo River. And so we've just come to call it, we just kind of call it the property or the Woodlands. But our friend Traveling Robert, if you saw yesterday's video, Robert is a big YouTube guy too. And Robert came down to visit us, and he ended up buying a lot just up the street from us, just a few hundred yards. And he has a similar place in Florida that he calls Pelicamp, because his fans are called Pelican Heads. And you guys are called nothing. I don't know. We need to call you something. What do we call the RV Lifestyle Group?
I don't know.
We need a name for you guys, and then we can name the camp. But we also want to we are really serious about trying to find a similar property that we can develop into a permanent, semi-permanent camping retreat for ourselves in Michigan. So we're going to have 2 of those places, but I guess we should name it, but
we're working on it.
Yeah. All suggestions are welcome here.
I guess what we were talking about earlier today about all that dirt, we'll just not ask people's opinion. We'll just wait about all the fill.
Well, you got to tell them now.
You tell them.
No, it's your idea.
Okay. So Mike wants 3 sites and our 5 acres.
Understand we have a.
And my original thinking was we have this horseshoe.
Here, let me just show you.
We have this horseshoe.
Our driveway
Is a horseshoe.
Okay, here's the street
The
out in
open
front,
part of the
right?
horseshoe.
And the driveway
street.
is a horseshoe.
And our camping site is naturally right in the middle back there.
That's
and
number
I
one.
imagined that when he said 2 more spots.
She thought somebody would stay on the driveway here
and on the driveway there.
Here. But it's kind of on a hill. So I want to put the spots out like that.
With
you can
30
see that.
loads of dirt.
Yeah, they tell us it will take 30 loads of dirt to do that.
That's a lot of dirt. And then I'm thinking, you put something heavy on there, erosion, that dirt's not going to stay there.
See, we already put in a frost-free spigot there, and we have a sewer hookup. That's all set.
If anybody comes, they better bring a long hose.
Bring a long hose. Hey, look, if I made a thing like that. Oh, okay. Anyway, that's our dilemma and how we're
yeah. As soon as I heard that,
we're going to talk to Jonathan Stacy. He's part of the excavation team we're using.
So we're spend that money on more cement.
We'll get his Yeah, you'd rather put cement in because we're finding camping on the crushed rock.
It's tracking.
Kind of brings in a dust.
Tracking in a lot of little pieces of dirt. I don't want to wreck our.
Hey, we're making this stuff as we go along, so we're learning how to develop this thing. Deb Castell.
Hello from Santa Rosa Beach. Top sail heading to Grayton Beach Tuesday.
We'll be there a week from tonight. We'll be coming to you from the Emerald Coast, Deb, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise or the ice doesn't fall, and the RV runs great. Matthew Blau.
We're not going to live to be 200. We're buying land.
Matthew, if I live in
money over campground fees over time.
If we live till about 212, we figure it'll break even.
We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of money, but I don't think you can look at the RV lifestyle as a return on investment, other than the peace, the joy, the satisfaction, the fun. The stressless part that it brings, but but we do think in the long run that this is an investment. We can sell this property because it's a very hot area. People are always going to want stuff, and I'm telling you, if we had ours developed right now and I put it up for, maybe I'll take some offers now. We've already put the driveway and the septic system and the water in. Somebody wants to get in that area, and as they sell out all the lots, our property, I know, is going to be worth money. And so we see it as an investment.
We see it as an investment, and there's no way that we're going to save money with this.
No, we're not going to save money, but we save all this stress, Matthew, in that anytime we want to go camping, we have a place we can go that we like. We really like the area. We can stay as long as we want. We are under no pressure to only be there a few days. We don't have to do anything more to the property. If we want, we could build a little barnuminium and keep an RV there, and we'll have some stuff to report later on about all this stuff. We got a lot of big changes coming in the next month or so. I wish I could tell you now, but lots of stuff coming. Christine Bartholomew.
Are you having any trouble getting reservations?
Yeah. And if you want it on a weekend or the summer, it's really hard.
Everything's booked.
It's still not too hard now if you find a campground open, and particularly during the week. But even, campgrounds are booked all year round now, all year round. And as you get into the warmer weather, it's harder and harder to find a place. There just aren't enough. Now, there are places like Harvest Host, and there's boondocking and a lot. So don't get us wrong. There's plenty of places to go, but it takes a little bit more work. That's one of the motivations of us getting property that we have, and we can always, we want to have a couple of spots so we can invite friends down to be with us, because that's half the fun of camping, is camping with friends. Alina Thompson again.
What are the best options to look into for high-speed internet in the RV?
Well, I used to tell everybody, get a cell phone booster, and I don't even have one. I haven't had one for 2 years and haven't needed it. So because the cell networks are so well built out now, I would not, unless you're always camping in one spot where there just happens to be terrible service, you don't need to get a cell phone booster. That said, you do need to have an internet program. For most people, just, making your smartphone a hotspot will work. If you're a remote worker or you want to stream video, then you need to have an unlimited and unthrottled way to get into the internet. And there are many different companies out there. I urge you to think about getting a hotspot, a MiFi card, or a Jetpack from Verizon or AT&T. Those are the two best carriers out there. Verizon still has a little better network than AT&T and Sprint, but get a Jetpack or a MiFi. That's what I used for years. Right now, we use a service called Internet on the Go. It's extremely, well, it costs about $128 a month. And I have that is standard for unlimited access like that. But I also have I bought a really good router, and the router costs $900. It's from PepWave. I own it myself, but it has both a SIM card for Verizon and for T-Mobile. So whichever one of those two networks is the strongest is the one it latches onto. If the other one becomes stronger, it seamlessly switches to it. Between the two, I have never even come close to my limit, which is like 80 to 100 gigabytes, something like that, more than I use, and I'm a heavy user. So, but they're not a sponsor. I'm not necessarily recommending them, but that's what I personally use. I would be careful. They are a reseller, and I'm always cautious of recommending resellers because they come and go, and the big carriers change their programs all the time, and then the resellers are stuck with that. So my first recommendation is always go with a Jetpack or a MiFi that you get from the carrier, the provider. And if you are a remote worker and you really need a lot of internet, then you can look at those other options. Small town picker.
Have y'all considered replacing RV toilet with a composting one?
Compost? Never. No, not my style. I have not, would not. Michael Schuster.
I have spent the past 2 months in various Florida state parks. At every one, there have been numerous, sometimes dozens of empty spots each night, even though the parks are all supposedly full. That is our biggest grievance, that people book these spots and then they don't show up, and other folks could be staying there.
This is a huge problem for all RV parks and campgrounds, and particularly state parks, because somebody reserves it and they keep it open. And I think, people are finding it's easier just to reserve for 2 or 3 days, think you have a spot. And then if you find something better somewhere else, go there, and they don't cancel. It's just rude people. But this happens all over the place.
It's very sad.
Our recommendation was, if you don't show up by 9 p.m. Or have called the office to say, hey, I'm running late, I won't get in till 11.
But nobody's in
or
the
first
office.
thing in the morning.
They leave at 5.
Yeah, well, but you got to, they've got to figure out a system.
They got to get a system.
And they got to find these people who don't call up and cancel. Find them. Take all their...
one place, didn't they fine them a couple bucks? I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't
like,
anything.
We'll fine you $3. Oh, man, that'll stop me. Just rude people. That's all it is, Michael.
It's selfishness.
Yeah. Gary Bauer.
Do you use a front windshield cover for privacy when camping? Do you have a recommendation for a Ford 2021 Wonder?
We don't have a windshield cover, but the Wonder comes, at least ours did, and ours is a 2020 model. It comes with a snap-on curtain that we snap around for privacy at night.
But there's spaces on both ends.
Yeah.
I would like the windshield cover.
Yeah, we could probably do that. And then what a lot of other people do is they just get a big, long tension rod and put a curtain on it, a blackout curtain, and run that across the cab. We could do that too, I suppose.
Yeah, that would probably be the easiest thing to do.
William Buoni.
Do you have a favorite camping spot near Elkhart, Indiana campground or Harvest House? We do have a favorite, and that's our son's house.
Our son lives in Kalamazoo. Yeah, you can go camp at Jeff's house. He doesn't care. It really is a nice spot for us. Let's see. One of the places that we really like, and you can look it up if you're on our YouTube channel, is look up a video we did on Michiana. That's what they call that region of northern Indiana and southern Michigan there, southwestern Michigan. And it's called Goff Lake, Goff, Goff Lake Campground. It's about 20 minutes out of Elkhart. There is a KOA nearby. We have not stayed there. We've boondocked at a couple of businesses that we know in Elkhart that have let us come in, but I'm not going to share that because they're actually friends of ours. So, but Goff Lake is a good spot, and there is a KOA there. So, and I'm sure there's others, but we usually just boondock or stay at our son's, or we'll hit Goff Lake every now and then. Phyllis Ray Glab.
In Minnesota, we had to pay $20 at a holiday gas station, no matter how much propane we needed in the propane tank. Shocking. That is, I guess they don't want to be bothered because they're working inside and they have to come out and tend to you.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of, places like that. What do you do?
Get mad.
Yeah, you can get mad. Tell everybody. Noreen Jarman.
All right. I will be your neighbor at the Woodlands in Tennessee and was wondering if you had drilled for your well. And if so, how much did it cost with pump and all things needed?
First of all, before we get to that, Noreen, I'm putting together for, there's so many of you that I've heard that have bought property there too. I'm putting together a spreadsheet of all the owners so that we can share things like that among ourselves and tips and resources, and maybe organize work parties if we all want to work on somebody's place for one weekend and then somebody else's in the afternoon or however. So send me what lot you have and your contact information and all that stuff. And I will, I'll put you on that list, and we get it filled up a little bit. I'll share it with everybody. Just send it to me at Mike and Jen at RVlifestyle.com. Mike and Jen at RVlifestyle.com. So, okay, now to your question.
Okay. Now that person that was asking when we were going to break even, I started thinking about, we have to pay taxes, and I wonder how much our water bill is and how often.
Taxes is about $475 a year.
And the water bill, how we're going to get billed. I presume you figured that out, so we won't get delinquent fees or something for not paying it. Because I'd wondered about, I'm kind of liking having like city water right now.
But she asked a question. Yeah, we didn't have to drill.
We didn't put in a well.
We didn't have to, Noreen, because our property is on one of the county roads there, and Perry County has water that runs right in front. So we just tapped into the water. So we have city water, actually city water. Yeah,
and I was wondering, if other people have to drill for a well, and I just wondered which would be better.
What would be better? We were having city water.
We were told that the water there is really good because one of the person that was working, a local person, he thought the city water was yucky, and I thought you got to taste the city water in most places in the country.
Yeah, no, it's excellent city water, really good. So we didn't have to drill, and with that, we don't have to have a pump. We don't have to have any of that stuff. And, there's a water bill, but it's minimal. And
so that's why the site that you want to make so everybody can share information would be good.
So send me your contact info. William Isery.
Do you know if you can use gray water to flush the toilet?
Well,
an advanced RV, can't you?
I don't know. I think not. How are you going to collect it? You mean have the tank come over and flush it? I don't think so. Maybe somebody out there probably could figure it out, but not in general, no, because they go into two separate systems. In ours, actually, the bathroom sink goes into the black water tank.
That uses a lot of water too. Brushing your teeth, washing your face. Well, for me.
Okay. But in general, they're two completely different systems, both different tanks. And I don't think you can bypass it and have the gray water used to flush the toilet, but be a great idea if you could. Ty Webb.
Ordered my F450 August 2021, still not built, but at least I have VIN, so my hopes are high for April.
Good luck, but that's ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. That's a big unit. That
F450.
Yeah.
Whew. I didn't know there was a 450. I thought 250 was the largest.
150, 250, 350, 450.
Wow.
I've been looking for a 250 for somebody, but Robin, the question for you.
Ever baked anything in the convection oven? If so, what? No, I'm bad. I'm just really bad. I've not baked anything in the convection oven. I should. I mean, I have a convection oven at home that I use, but I have not adjusted to my microwave convection oven.
Yeah, you did have a lesson, and you cooked something that wasn't in our unit. It was somebody
That wasn't in
else.
ours.
That was
That was
somebody
with
else.
Mary Jane. She did all the work. I just stood there and watched.
Yeah, you just said to me. Yeah. Robin Idlewild.
Are you hearing of propane shortages? We ate at a restaurant on Friday, and patio was closed because they said they couldn't find any propane for heaters.
No, I don't know what state that is,
I
Robin.
don't know what state that is. We looked at a house, and we really liked the house. And I said to Mike, I'm afraid to buy it because of propane shortages.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. We have not heard of any, and we've not had any trouble getting propane in our RV. That's the only place we use propane. So, but again, it lasts forever for us. So I will probably top it off maybe even this week. And unless we have to run the heater for a couple of times, I don't think we'll have to touch it until summer. Van Liberty.
Okay.
All right, they have been using the Lavio. How do you like it? Lavio dry flush toilet?
2 weeks. And I have to say the system works. Recommend buying a jug of cat litter to better manage the fluid.
Sorry, you lost me there with cat litter. Well, good for you. Good for you. I'm not doing,
I think in the future will be, not what we have.
Elena Thompson.
I was lucky to score a 2013 used Nissan Frontier. Can tow 6,500 pounds. Wow.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's great.
That
Bob
is
Keith.
great. We enjoyed the campground update video. Did you hire a general contractor to handle permits, finding and scheduling contractors, or did you do it yourself?
Oh my gosh, it was so easy. See, that's how it is in big cities. In Perry County, Tennessee, there were 3 permits I needed. I needed an electric permit, which you got from the Meriwether Lewis Electric Cooperative. And by the way, they're putting in the telephone poles right out front as we speak. So I should be getting electricity soon. I had to get a permit from them. And then from Perry County, I had to get a sewer septic permit. And then from the city of Linden, because it's city water out in front, I had to get a permit to tap into the water. The water permit had to be approved. They had to go out and look at it. And the septic system, they had to go out and look at it before it was done and after. I got all 3 of those permits in 1 hour's time, and I went to 3 separate places: the electric co-op, the county building. Actually, I did the county building online, and the water tap. And that's how efficient it was in this smaller little county. Now, I do have an excavation company, and I just did a big post on RVlifestyle.com. It lists their name. It's Philippi Excavation, but you can look at RVlifestyle.com. We've got a whole bunch of stories that document everything we've been doing on the property. And they did the driveway, the clearing of the trees. They coordinated with the inspector. I mean, it couldn't have been easier to do. Couldn't have been easier. And
plus, such nice people.
Oh, great people. Great people. Anna America Womad. Okay.
Hi, I'm first time starting my solo van life in April. Can't wait.
Congratulations. That's awesome. That's awesome. You're going to have a great time. Andrew Larimore.
Camp Bo. Oh, but then what if something happens to Bo? We'll have to sell it.
We'll have to have a memorial thing. Yeah. Bo makes it. Bo loves that property.
Bo loves it.
Jim Kirkland.
Do you have someone to recommend who could upgrade our Airstream Atlas to 3,000 watt inverter and add another battery?
I don't know where you are, Jim. I know if you want lithium, I know the people at Battleborn Batteries. You can contact them, and they will give you installers and people around the country that they have worked on that know how to do all of that stuff. Short of that, I would call around and look at our mobile RV techs. Most of those guys are better trained than anybody you'll find in a RV dealership, and they've had more experience. They're very busy too, but I would try and have a mobile tech do it and ask them, if if you've done it, and can you give me a recommendation and some of the references, and I'm sure you can find it. So good luck. Davis, Tandy, and Buster. They're in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay. What is the frame cartoon over Mike's left shoulder? The video quality is good enough to pique my interest.
That is a journalism project I worked on many years ago, and a book I wrote.
About 43 years ago.
Yeah, 1976. A journalist in Phoenix, Arizona was murdered. And as a result of that, a group of investigative reporters, of which I was at that time.
Back in the days when there were
journalists. Well, when the newspapers could afford
to send you out there.
And I spent 6 months with a team of other reporters, and we kind of dug into the climate of what led to that murder, and it produced a series of, I think, 23 different articles that ran in major newspapers across the country, and there were indictments. People went to jail, and I ended up writing a book on it. But that is a list of all the fellow reporters I worked with on the project. We all signed "Deep and Dirty." That was our little motto that we called the way we were all. It was a great heady time.
It was a great adventure.
Yeah, it was a great time. William Isery.
My wife and I are considering property in your development. Are there plenty of sites?
You guys, I don't work for them, so I don't know. I do know that the development is 3,600 acres in size, so there's a lot of property. I know prices have gone up. When we first went in, 5 acres was started at $59,900, and I think they've sold most of the 5 acre sections. Now they're advertising 6 acres. 6 acres starting at $79,000, I think.
I have no idea.
So there is the link on their site. You can go to that. Now, I should tell you, they only sell, we'll leave that up for a bit. They only sell the land by showing, and they do that once a month or every other month. Next one is March 19th. And they're quite a operation to see, because I think at the last one, they had something like 70 appointments, and they have a team of a dozen or so salespeople. And, not everybody shows, even though they made appointments, but so they have a rough idea what you want. And you go out and you look at the property. And meantime, you're hearing all these other people who are taking prospective buyers out on the radio. Lot 23 sold, lot 65 sold. And so it creates quite a feeding frenzy to get the stuff. We have found the company to be just straight up. We really like the company. We've had great, everything they've said has been right on true. And we're way ahead of schedule in developing ours. But that's the link to find out more, because I don't work for them. They do advertise. There's a banner on our blog and everything, but check them out. Ebony Bowman.
How long do you think this new boom in buying RVs may last? And could it be possible RVs can become appreciating assets? Love your channel. Thank you.
Thank you. I think not, probably. I mean, certainly they are. If you bought, I'm like, when we sell our Wonder, which probably be fairly soon, we will probably get what we paid for it or more. But
because there's a shortage.
Because there is a shortage. And in fact, people have already heard me talking. I've got a list of 3 people who said, we want to buy it. We want to buy it. Huh? You don't want to sell it? No. But we could.
We could.
But here's besides all this, the buying a new one, the massive delays in the backlogs on orders. I mean, Leisure Travel Events is still pushing 3 years on their orders, a new order. The difficulty now in getting trucks to tow fifth wheels and larger towables. And then throw in the third factor, gas prices and the increasing fuel prices. When we got into this lifestyle 10 years ago, I was paying about the same I am now for fuel. And you all know the prices today. And then it went way down, then it went up a little, then it went down. So it kind of fluctuates. But when gas approaches $5 or fuel approaches $5 a gallon, there is a definite stop in effect on travel for people. I mean, that is a lot. That's a lot of money.
Some places in the country,
it's already, yes. I'm not counting California. No, California's a whole different ball game. But when nationwide, when it approaches $5, it starts to have an effect. And, with this situation in the Ukraine and all the confusion in our world and the continuing inflation that we're seeing, I don't know, what effect that's going to happen. So will the boom continue? No, booms never last for long. But will it crash? I hope not. I don't think so.
Well, I think most people, the reason that there is such a boom right now is that people are staying in this country.
Yes. And, the world is crazy. With COVID pretty much in our rearview mirror now, people traveling again. Still, you're not seeing people going to Europe like they used to and to other places. I think we'll see the RV demand stay high for a while, but I don't see it going so high that it's going to become an appreciating asset. That's a long answer to
they
your
rest
question.
and
Hope it helps.
things fall apart.
Maya Hogan.
How profitable, if any, do you think renting out your RV on reputable sites be?
I think you mean if I advertised it on places to rent?
Well, I think if you rented it out, you've got the liability thing.
Yeah.
And then you got people, if they pay money, if something doesn't work or something gets broken, they're going to want you to fix it.
We have a condo that we rent out in the Panhandle. We rent it out from June until
August.
From middle of May till middle of August. And then we don't rent it anymore. We just choose not to. But it is, it's a pain. I mean, you're always answering questions. You're always, I don't know what you would charge for a site. I think
if you charge $25.
No, I did charge because you're giving them full hookups in a nice area. So you could charge probably $50 a night and people would pay it. But it's not worth the hassle. I mean, we're traveling. I don't want to have to stop and answer questions to rent out a site. So that's why we decided not to sell it. Plus, as Jen says, there's the liability on them.
I mean, I don't know what liability is,
People are notoriously unreliable. Yeah, we rent it and they tie it up for 3 days and then they cancel. And I know you can have cancellation fees and all that. I just don't want the hassle of it. So
you have to get somebody to manage it.
Yeah, and then they take all the. I don't think there's.
I don't want Phyllis to turn on me.
Yeah, Phyllis, it's going to be for you. Okay.
No, I just want to say there's a lot of information about this on the blog and also in the ebooks. So if somebody has a question about renting out their RV, to make
I thought they were. You know what? I thought they were talking about campsites, renting out your RV. You're right. Thank you. We've been talking so much about the property. I thought the question was relying on the thing, but thank you
for steering us in the right direction.
Yeah, there is a lot of information on the blog, and yes, you can do really well with it.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
I mean, you can get a couple $100 a night for an RV renting it out if you want to deal with all the hassle, because there is a hassle to it. So, but it can be very profitable.
Can be a way to pay for it.
We ran into a woman in California who had 7 or 8 of them and was renting them out and making a pretty good income on it. But, it's a lot of work too, James Massey.
We want to start including our 10-year-old Sheltie on our RV trips who hasn't traveled any. Mm-hmm. Any advice on how to introduce her, make her feel comfortable in the RV? How do you think make her feel comfortable? Other than let her ride shotgun.
They all like to ride shotgun. Short trips, get her acclimated. How else?
Does she like the car?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she should be pretty adjusted to your car.
She hasn't traveled any.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 years old? You know your dog.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks, they say, James. So
maybe give her a couple little pills to settle her down, or I don't know. Okay.
Crystal Lake, Nebraska. Never been there. Don't know. Never been there. I like the sand hills.
Have you ever gone to
Nebraska?
Crystal Lake, Nebraska?
Yep. Nope.
Haven't been there.
Johnny Lightning.
Speaking of work parties, I need some help painting my home so I can get on the road full time. Any volunteers?
Oh gosh, I knew that was coming. That's a great one, James. Johnny, thank you. That's why they call you Johnny Lightning, because you're lightning quick like that. You saw that opportunity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I think the idea of having people who have the property and all together down there, work parties, that'd be kind of fun. Bob Leach.
The convection air fryer microwave oven in our RV is difficult for us to use. My wife, Julie, has to get the owner's manual to use it.
Yeah, I hear that from everybody. Nobody likes to use the convection oven. Well, some people do, but
Well, if it were just a convection oven, but you have to push all the little buttons and codes, going back and forth.
yeah, that's good. Brian Wyatt, whoop. My RV keeps checking a 30 amp GFI circuit with everything turned off. Not sure what's
Going on.
going on. Be an electrician, Brian. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe your GFI circuit thing is fried. That's happened. That's a fairly common fail point with GFIs. But I would call a mobile tech, ask them, and I would have them check it. That's what you need, is a mobile RV tech.
I hate to sound dumb, but my biggest fear is with this microwave convection oven that somehow I'm not going to push the right buttons. I'm going to put a metal pan in there and blow everything up.
Yeah. Well, we'll get a new RV in 3 years if we order. Bob Lenardi.
Do you have snap pads on your jacks?
Yeah, we do. All 4 of them. They're great.
Every now and then we knock one off.
Yeah, we knocked one off when that concrete hit it the other day. But yep, it's back on. We replaced it. We love them. Snap pads are great. If you wonder what they are, they're a heavy duty pad that goes around the actual leveling jack, so that if you're on concrete or mud or dirt, it doesn't get buried down in the dirt, or it doesn't scratch up and wreck it doesn't wreck the surface that it's on. So very handy. Eric N.
We purchased our land also at Woodlands this last time, and in the phase 2 section. We also would love to get your information with all of the permits you have completed. Keep up the awesome videos.
Thanks, Eric. Well, again, Eric, send me all your contact information. I'll put you on that list. And if you bought from the Woodlands, they gave you a sheet that listed where you got all those permits from. So that's all you got to do is follow up that stuff. But send me your contact information so we can put you on our owners group, and we'll keep in touch. Sally Rober.
Have any of your children invested in an RV or travel trailer? Our youngest son, he had a travel trailer.
Just got rid of it last year.
And he just got rid of it because their lives are too full and too busy. And our daughter absolutely loves to travel, but her husband and her kids, I don't think, share quite the enthusiasm. And she camps in a tent, so you're always the weather. And especially Michigan, a lot of rain. I think it would be dreamy to have a get together with family, all in their own trailers. Or as a family, you could strike out an adventure together. We did have one adventure.
Yes, we did.
We have 3 kids and one son. No way is he going to go any place.
Right. One son wouldn't.
No. The other 2 love camping.
And we did a family trip one year. We actually got a travel trailer. A 19-foot travel trailer, and we towed it with our Sprinter van, and then we borrowed a small little Road Trek motorhome, and our whole family, we caravaned together. We did all of Colorado.
3 humongous dogs.
3 humongous dogs. Had a great time. So, Sally, that is an awesome thing. Get together with the family. I don't know if I'd love to do that again, but none of them have RVs. Our daughter camps in a tent, but but it's different.
We'll all have to get tents.
Hey, Chris Colley's mentioned, we haven't announced, it's kind of like a soft launch, but we have a whole new line of spring shirts and clothing, RV lifestyle clothing that we're going to launch someday. And some of it, I think, are new hats and some of the merch with new designs.
I should have worn my new hat.
Yes, your new hat's. Where is your new hat? Your pink
It's up
one.
in the closet.
Jen's got a new pink hat. So yeah, we'll wear them next week. And but you can see some of them right now if you want a sneak peek of it. We haven't done an official launch, but there's some new designs that you can see there, and some hats and all of our ebooks and many other things. So check that out. Thank you for putting that up, Chris. That's a big help. All right, I think we are about done. What is the time? Yes, holy cow! How could it go so fast?
Very fast.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been really fun to answer your questions and hear your continuing enthusiasm for getting out there and enjoying the RV lifestyle. Don't forget, you can send us a question at mikeandjen@rvlifestyle.com. That's our private email address, and it's just for you guys. And we love to get your questions and your comments, and we appreciate every one of them. And that's our address right there. See that? That will always get you to us. We love to feature your questions too on the podcast. New podcast coming out this this Wednesday. And with that, we are going to say farewell and sayonara and all of that stuff, because it's time to get ready for another week. We hit the road this week on our way to Florida. That's probably where we'll be next week when we come to you. And we've got, stay tuned in the next month or so. We got lots of announcements for you, some cool things that we're going to be up to and doing, and we think you'll find interesting too. We're excited. This is as of, I think it was March 7th was my first blog post. So that will be the 10-year anniversary. And from now on, it will be 11 years. We'll be working on our 11th year of doing all this, with more to come, Lord willing, right?
Right.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Happy trail.